Hey guys, welcome back to Tuesday Tea with Melody. I have to apologize for the lighting in here today. I should have done this earlier in the day because it's dark now, and these I like these chandelier lights because they're really pretty, but they're really not practical because they only have light in the center of the room, and I can't be set up in the center the way it's set up. So I apologize for that. Um, Today's tea is this Twinings of London Herbal Honeybush and Mandarin Orange. This one is awesome, guys. It has such a nice orange scent and flavor, and it's a very relaxing tea. Um, as far as I know, it does not contain chamomile. I drink it a lot, and I'm allergic to chamomile, so um, it's a good one. And like I said, it's very relaxing. My tripod. Guys, I have major tripod issues. Alright, so my cup is Alice in Wonderland. So I'm trying to laugh now because the subject of this video is a more serious one. Some of you have been in my live streams and have heard me mention my cancer and stuff like that, and have messaged me wanting to know about it. So I decided that I would make a Tuesday tea video discussing it. I have to warn the guys on my channel, you might want to click off this video because there will be female issues discussed, if you know what I mean. I'm going to try to go through the gruesome parts as quickly as I can. So it's up to you if you want to stay, if you're a guy. So basically it started in 2009. I was having okay, let me backtrack. It actually started way before that. Like when I was in my early 20s and I would go to the gynecologist. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian disease, which means I had cysts on my ovaries. But, you know, they said it wasn't anything to worry about at the time. So I basically just kind of ignored it. I never had regular monthly cycles. I'll just put it that way. Sometimes I would go like a whole year without even having one. Sometimes, you know, I would get it a couple times a year. I never had a heavy one. It was always just light spotting whenever I did get it. So as I went to a few different gynecologists, both in New York and in Ohio, different doctors told me that because of the polycystic ovarian disease, and they said I had a underdeveloped uterus. They said the chances of me ever being able to become pregnant would be slim. So I was, you know, obviously upset about that. And after I moved back to New York from Ohio, I started having like really painful periods, even though it was just light spotting. I would get wicked cramps. So I went to a gynecologist here, and they wanted me to have an endometrial biopsy done, and I couldn't do it. I canceled it. They set me up with an appointment, and actually what happened is it had to be canceled because I went to the hospital. They were getting me ready to put me under, and I started getting really bad chest pains. So they canceled the biopsy, put me in the hospital in the heart unit, ran all kinds of heart tests on me. I had to do a stress test and all that. Found out my heart was fine and that it was most likely a panic attack, because a panic attack mimics a heart attack sometimes. So I didn't end up rescheduling the biopsy. And then almost a year later, Al and I were in line at a McDonald's, go figure, and all of a sudden, it felt like I peed myself. But I knew I didn't. I didn't know what was going on. So I went in the bathroom. Okay, this is gross. You might want to cover your ears. There was blood everywhere. Everywhere. And I wasn't prepared for it, if you know what I mean. So I didn't have anything with me. So Al grabbed, our stuff, and we had to go home. And I was going through 2 pads an hour, completely saturated. So we were thinking I was hemorrhaging because never seen that much blood. So it was like 11 o'clock at night, and we decided to go to the ER. And I texted my friend Mary. She's also here on YouTube, but she's my real life friend. And she met us at the ER. She pretty much dropped what she was doing and rushed to the ER to be there for me. And she went in the bathroom with me because I was getting to the point where I was losing so much blood. It was like I felt like I was going to faint. She went in there with me, and like I said, we've been friends since we were little girls, so it's not the first time, we undressed or something in front of each other. So she was horrified when she saw the amount of blood. She normally is the one to stay calm, but when she seen it, she was like, "Oh my God, Melody, that's like a crazy amount of blood." So then I got really scared because usually was the one to keep me calm. And I went in, and they told me I had to have that endometrial biopsy done. So I had it done, and the doctor said to me, "You have to have a complete hysterectomy." Because he was like 90% sure that what I had developed into uterine cancer. And he said, he asked me if I had children, if I ever had children. I said no. And I said, I was told that I can't because my uterus is underdeveloped and because of the polycystic ovarian disease. So he says to me, it is very difficult to get pregnant when you have the PCOS. but your uterus is normal size. So I don't know why you were told it wasn't. I was always told by previous gynecologists if I were to get pregnant and try to carry it full term, my uterus could break and I would hemorrhage and die. Well, according to this other doctor, my uterus was fully developed. So I started getting really upset. I did not want to have the surgery because I was like, I never had a child and I wanted to have at least one. So he says to me, if you don't have this done, you probably won't be here, a year or two down the road. So he said if I really wanted to have a child, they could freeze some of my eggs and I could try that way, like before actually having the surgery. I don't know exactly how that all works, but he was talking about freezing my eggs and I don't know if he's talking about like artificial insemination or what, but he said, but the thing is, if you get pregnant, I obviously couldn't have the surgery. He said, if you don't have the surgery and you get pregnant, he said there was a good chance I wouldn't carry it anyway to term. Or I would, die trying to have it because he figured my cancer would, if I indeed had the cancer, would be so advanced by then that I would basically be having a child just to not be able to be a mother to it. I did not want to do the surgery at all. I refused to do the surgery for like a couple of months. And everybody was hounding me. Everybody, like my mom and Al and Joe and my friends in real life, my family, they're like, you have to do it. You have to. They were so mad at me because I wasn't going to do it. I wanted to try to have a kid first. And I guess I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but I got tired of hearing everybody hounding me and being mad at me because I wasn't going to have the surgery. Because not having it would mean I was probably going to die within a year or two. So I had the surgery, and during the surgery, they were trying to do it laparoscopically, but they hit an artery and they had to do an emergency C-section. And I don't know exactly what happened during that C-section. I asked my family that was there and friends that were there. I had like 4 friends there. The surgery was done in Rochester, New York. And I asked, did they say if I died, during when that happened? Because I started bleeding uncontrollably. They couldn't get the bleeding under control. That's why they had to do the emergency C-section. But when I woke up, I remember something that happened while I was unconscious. And I told everyone about it. And I don't know I don't know if I dreamed it. I don't know if I imagined it or if it actually happened. But I remember seeing myself on the table and the doctors around me, like I was above myself. And all of a sudden, there was just this huge, bright, bright, bright white light, and I couldn't like see anything. And then the next thing I know, I was waking up and I was in unbearable pain because I didn't know they had to cut me open. They had me on a morphine drip for the pain, but I mean, I didn't see God or Jesus or heaven or deceased loved ones or anything like that. But there was this big, huge white light, and I remember that. Did I have a near-death experience, or was it a dream? I honestly don't know. I want to believe that, you know, maybe it was something telling me not to be afraid of death. But after the surgery, you know, they biopsied everything they took out of me. And I did indeed have stage 1 uterine cancer. So that can progress pretty fast. If I hadn't have had the surgery, I wouldn't have probably been around another year. And there are times when I honestly wish I did not have the surgery. I'm not going to lie. But then there are times I'm like, wow, to think I wouldn't be here now if I didn't. What is hard is babies and children seem to like me for whatever reason. Whenever I go into a public place, one second. Whenever I go into a public place, almost every time, there will be a baby or a child smiling at me, waving at me, saying hi, you know, and even though I absolutely love it, it melts my heart and it breaks my heart at the same time. And the other thing is, when you're a woman and you don't ever have children, there are people who are cruel and they will put you down because you never had kids. I have been told I'm not a real woman because I never became a mother. I've been told I'm jealous of other people's kids. No, I might envy people who have children. Yes, they're very lucky and I consider them blessed. But, I mean, the cruel and hurtful things that people have said to me, that's the reason why I wish I didn't have the surgery. You know, and it's like these people, and it's not just people on YouTube have said that stuff to me. You know, I've seen it all over the place. I've seen other social media sites where people are putting down women who never had children, saying they're less of a woman, and, you know, it's just not right. It wasn't my choice to be misled, first of all, into thinking that my uterus could not hold a baby. And it definitely wasn't my choice to get cancer. It just is what it is. If I hadn't had that surgery, I had the surgery in 2010. I had to go to Rochester, which was like a 2.5 hour drive from where we lived, twice a year for 5 years until, and see the surgeon was, my oncologist. And I had to go see her twice a year for 5 years until I was cleared of any female cancer, because they took out everything. So, oh my God, guys, my wig is a mess. But so that is basically the story of my cancer. For those of you who wanted to know what kind I had and if it was gone and all that, it's gone. They said I can't ever get, any of that kind of cancer again, but I still have to have a yearly checkup because your lymph nodes, are attached to your stomach and all that. And I also have to have every woman has to have a yearly mammogram, or they should, but once you're predisposed to cancer, it can pop up again somewhere else. That's my fear, because I have already told Al and pretty much everybody, I will not go through that again. I won't do another surgery. I won't do chemo, and I won't do radiation or any of that stuff. I already get picked on because my hair is thin. I'm not going to do something that's going to make me lose my hair and get ridiculed even more. And I can't stand going under the knife. It just, oh my God, the anxiety is so bad. I just couldn't do it. So hopefully I won't have to get it again. But I guess that's it, guys. I'm sorry this was kind of a downer video, but I'm hoping that it will help somebody, because, ladies, it's very important to make sure you go and get your yearly PAP, because if it is caught early, there's a very high chance of survival. Like with me, it was caught early. If you guys ever have any of the symptoms like I said I was having, please get checked out, because it's highly treatable if you get it checked out early. And I just want to tell you, anybody who has gone through this and has not had children of their own and has heard the same kind of stuff that I did, I want you to know you're not less of a woman because you're not a mother. That's the biggest line of BS. And one of the cruelest things a person can say to another person. Don't fall for it. It's not true. They say everything happens for a reason. There had to be a reason. People like us were just not able to have children. So, alright guys, I'm going to stop this here, and I thank you for watching, and I am going to make next week's tea time much more lighthearted, I promise. Like I said, some of these will be depressing because it's real. It's reality. You know, I'm not going to be fake whether people like it or not. I'm going to tell the truth. But I have a lot of funny moments in my life too, and that's what I'm going to talk about next week. Thanks, guys, for your support, your friendship, and your love, and I will see you next time.